Have we decided that Matthew Tkachuk doesn't need to show up anytime soon to the Florida Panthers? It's all over with for the Panthers. No one wants them trying to make a run. It's a lost cause, right?
Well, so this is what I'm worried about, Dave. You know, the guys. First of all, was our crew at 11 last night?
Some of us were.
Who was there last night?
I was there.
Oh.
Amin was there. A lot of people thought he was Kash Patel. And
Get the hell out of
Ethan
here.
was there.
A lot of people complaining about ice. I said, man, that's not me.
Okay, hold on a second. All right. Did anyone actually, did you
wear
see
the outfit?
people, were they eyeing you down and they thought that you were Kash Patel?
Well, someone called me a fascist, and I didn't know if that was because of the show or maybe
That could
because
relate to
I thought it was Kash
anything,
Patel.
right? Yeah, you can talk about anything there. So there may have been people who thought you were Kash Patel.
Absolutely. It didn't help that my eyes were crossed. But I told you guys, if I keep doing it on the show, it's going to stick like that. My mom told me that.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Side note quickly, Mike Ryan, just before we started the show, he and I were talking up close and we made eye contact. And I have to say, listen, a little sunshine in this world ain't a bad thing. Mike Ryan, you have very pretty eyes. Very pretty eyes.
Wow.
I was
Thank you.
struck by it as we stood in the morning light. What did your eyes behold last night, though? At 11, what struck you?
Well, you know what? This whole Team USA hockey thing is a bit complicated. I'm an ally. I put myself out there. I'm also wearing a Matthew Tkachuk jersey and a Team USA hat, and I'd like to get into what later today is going to look like with the players going up to Washington D.C.
Oh, they're going today?
They're going to be present for the State of the Union.
Yeah, right.
Well, the women have taken the opportunity to decline the invitation.
They said they were too busy,
Their
right?
schedule.
Why, you think?
Because they were made fools of in that viral video. I understand anyone that has drawn the line, that even took a little bit of joy and had all the joy go away watching what this team has done with this moment. I think some of them, you could argue they're victims of. They've been props for a propaganda machine, no doubt. And unfortunately, many of them are willing participants and probably pushing that too. It's a complicated thing, and I understand why people feel some type of way about it.
Can you wear sunglasses at the State of the Union? Because there's no chance these guys are going to be fresh and ready to go.
I want to go back for a second to something Amin said, all right? Because my mother also told me that if you cross your eyes, they could permanently stay that way.
It's true.
Your mother told you that
Canon
also.
stuff from parents, right?
Jay's
What
mother's also said the same thing. But
What was-
ours is a little different. Ours is if you do the cross and a bug flies by, then it'll get stuck.
Oh, it's a two-part
Really?
process.
Yeah. So if you got your eyes crossed and all of a sudden a bug flies by, boom, it's stuck.
That'd be a hell of a coincidence if you're doing the cross-eyed thing at the same time that the bug comes.
That's what I'm saying.
What
I
are
never
some
did
of the
it.
things that our mothers told
Hold
us
on.
would happen if you don't, if you do it? It will stick permanently.
Too close to the TV.
Oh yes,
That
it'll
one's
ruin
true,
your
I think.
vision.
Close. That one might be true.
My mom said if you pick your nose too much, your finger could get stuck.
Your what?
Your finger?
Could get
How
stuck
many
up there?
years did that work on you?
I was 32 years old when
I was always afraid of, because one of the things that I was told was if you're one of the kids that flip your eyelids inside out,
Yes.
that they would stay. I was afraid of that.
I don't like those kids. Those kids never grew up
I
to
didn't
be
like
anything
those
good.
kids either, and I was afraid that if I did it, my eyelid would stay. And I got news for you. If my eyelid stayed inside out, that'd have been a tough life.
Can't make eye contact with anyone.
waiting 30 minutes after you eat to go in the pool.
Oh, yeah, that's
That
a
was
big
one.
one. Big
No,
one,
don't
swimming.
do it, Mike. Don't do it. Don't. Your eyes are gonna stay.
See, what did I tell you?
What
They
happened to
never
those-
they never amounted to anything good.
Pretty eyes.
It's gross, but also pretty, isn't it? I think we can all agree.
What's up with this guy, dude?
More than one of my children believed me for multiple years when I would do the thing of I'd be like, see, look at one half of me. When you look at me from, I'm trying to get to the camera.
You got this.
Look, this side is nice and thin, but when I turn around, look, I got a big belly.
Whoa!
That was a magic trick.
Wow.
And my kids, it came to a head when one of the kids said at school, my dad's belly on the one side is fat. Show them. And I had to show other kids. I'm like, what? I've got the remedial child.
I want to try that
Half
with my
of me
kids.
is fat. Yeah, see if it works.
Good luck.
So what did you see last night at 11?
Well, this being my third hockey celebration,
Go on.
a little jaded. Don't have the same kind of connection point, so not as fun as the Panthers celebrations. I will say though, I got a little teary-eyed when the pole dancer went up with Old Glory. That was a moment in time. I really felt joy from sea to shining sea.
Kachuk put his medal on her.
No, he did not. That was after they try to avoid like those photo ops when the players walk in with the Olympic medals. But
what time did they arrive?
They arrived at around 11.
Yeah, it was. They weren't. I thought they were going to be ridiculously late,
Okay.
but apparently they went to dinner and they came right after dinner.
That's what they do every time.
I like that.
I didn't see any videos from the double-decker bus ride around Ocean Drive, but I imagine they were all standing at attention by south of 5th, waiting for their opportunity to take a glance at Jake Sanderson.
When they're on that double decker going around Ocean Drive, like Matthew Kachuk, I would imagine he's got the microphone. He's like the MC. He's standing in front. Because he's done this tour like a couple times already. He's showing everyone the landmarks, right?
If you didn't know, like me, if you were like me and you didn't watch any Olympic hockey, you would have thought Matthew Kachuk was the best player. He was the captain. He was the guy making everything happen because he was the guy. He was the MC.
Yep.
He had the mic. He had the cigar lit. He had the flag around him. He was making requests, DJ requests. He was giving speeches. They tried to get other guys to talk. Nobody really wanted to do it. Kachuk was the only guy who was really embracing that role.
Yeah, it was like that for the Panthers celebration until Sam Reinhart got the microphone and didn't shut up for 2.5 hours. But yeah, it was an interesting celebration because I haven't had a championship celebration centered around the country. So instead of like "We Are the Champions" every 5 songs, yeah, you'd have that mixed in, but you would have like these American standards, like
Well,
Proud
have
to
we
Be
ever
American
had-
and
Of the red, white, and blue.
and
That
Toby
one,
Keith.
Oh, my God.
Well, so
That
we've never
song,
had
big
this
dog.
type of celebration in your lifetime, right?
No, certainly not for hockey. I mean,
Well, but
when-
not
for
for
any
soccer.
sport.
Well,
yeah, any
what-
sport.
well, when USA basketball wins, like you'll
expected.
celebrate at the bar, but everyone's not like, "Hey, where are we going after this?" And also, basketball celebrations are a little bit more exclusive. I think one of the cool things is, and I do think it's a testament. I mentioned this yesterday of how the Florida Panthers have changed hockey culture down here. When New York gets snowed out, the hockey players on the bus are like, let's go to 11 because those championship celebrations seem so fun. I thought it was cool that they were among the people, that it wasn't exclusive. It was more of an inclusive type of deal where people are reaching out, touching people, signing jerseys, and having fun with other Americans that were
We bring
happy to
other
be there.
Americans into the locker room to celebrate with the team. What are you talking about? This is old news.
I told Mike yesterday that when they make the movie, the Miracle movie about this team, there'll be a scene after they win and say, all right, guys, let's go to New York or D.C. And it's like, this just in, massive snowstorm cripples the Northeast. And they're like, guys, what are we going to do? And Matthew Kachuk leans in and says, I know a place. And cut to 11. That's exactly how it went.
Yeah, but I'm also sure that there was some vibes. Like, you ever tell your friends, hey, you got to try this place. It's amazing. And you go in there and the place is totally empty. I imagine that's what it was like when the double-decker bus went around Ocean Drive. A bunch of Europeans confused outside of Mango's. Like, what is this?
What are you doing?
Is that Jake Ottinger?
Who are these people? And why is it so cold outside?
I just realized that much as Kurt Russell got to play Herb Brooks, that we are sitting now with Amin in the future movie about the 2026 Olympic team, that you're going to get to play Kash Patel, giving the big
sure am.
inspirational speech in the locker room.
And
Good
then
for
and
you.
that's a role that I will cross my eyes and let them cross forever for.
Are
To
you
be in that movie? Yeah.
Are you, though, think globally, act locally, root nationally, or root locally? Do you feel like Matthew Kachuk, it feels like the Panthers are probably a little too far away, but it's plausible they could get themselves back into contention. Would you be raw, Panthers fans, if Kachuk was like, the medal and all the effort for the 2 weeks and then the celebrations? I need a couple of games to get right. Like I'm not gonna dress for the next.
They might
game
all
or
do
two.
that.
He is going to get a couple of games. I think there have already been teams that say
I think so too.
that players that have been playing for their countries are going to get a couple of games rest. to
No
get their-
issue with that.
No. It's
they need to
go to
uncontroversial.
the
State of the
every
Union.
but every game is so important for them down the stretch. I heard Dave Hyde say yesterday that based off some projections, they have to go 19-6 the final 25 to make the
yeah,
playoffs?
Yes, they have to do something crazy to make the playoffs.
And,
yes.
and in order to do one thing they would have to do is have Matthew Tkachuk in the lineup, right? I mean, that significantly improves their chances. And if he doesn't dress, and obviously I know we're talking about Miami-based hockey, but of course my heart belongs on the banks of the Three Rivers, and that team is in contention for the playoffs as well, currently positioned. And now Sidney Crosby almost played in the gold medal game, but then at the last second, he just wasn't right. What happens if he's like, yeah, I'm going to take the next 2 weeks off. My knee was almost good enough to play in a big game like the gold medal game, but not enough for these regular season games. I wonder what the reaction is among
we'll ask
NHL
you.
fans.
You're a Penguins fan. We can ask you.
I'm conflicted is the answer to that. I mean, I don't have a black and white answer for you. I'd be conflicted about it. I would love for Crosby to burnish his career, his legacy, and all the rest of it had he played and they won the gold medal and all the rest of it. But if it meant that, boy, going out there on that knee was rough and now I need 3 weeks off.
It just rolls off my back as a soccer fan. That's what happens when these guys go to play for their countries and they come back. Look, it doesn't have to be your country. I'm an Inter Miami fan. Every time that Argentina has friendlies, I'm like, well, there goes Messi for 2 games.
I mean, who cares about Messi in this dumb American soccer league? That's not comparable to some.
No, I'm saying, but I'm programmed that way to understand when players leave to represent their country, there's going to be a reacclimation point. They're logging minutes over there. They're probably going to get eased back into the lineup. It's rare the occasion.
That's a culture that exists and has for many decades in soccer. That's different than American sports, big time, multi-millions of dollars annually, and all the rest of it. Zaz, what do you think? Were you a high-end hockey player, would you say it's more important to me to represent the nation, and it will in fact trump me in terms of deed and all the rest of it, and dressing for the big game? It's more important to me than dressing for an NHL game.
Well, as a fan, it's more important to me that he dresses for the Panthers, that he dresses for Team USA. That's me.
Interesting, right.
But as a player, I think the conversation is it's that conversation where if it was the playoffs, I would be playing. You know, that's what it is. But and the gold medal game is the playoffs, and then he comes back and it's a regular season game. It's like, all right, I need a little bit of time here, but if this were the playoffs, I would play.
I'm sorry, did you not want to win the gold medal? I'm a little confused. We need Matthew Tkachuk out there for the gold medal. You know, he logged some minutes. He's played a lot of hockey over his career. I'm good with giving him 2 games to recover.
Yeah, just it is what it is. Like,
we're
I'm
selfish
fine with
people.
It's not like it's a
What are you
back-to-back,
talking
though. He's getting I mean, I know he's at 11 last night, but he's had, it'll be 4 days since
the State of the Union. Well, you want to talk about that? I think you want to talk about that because I think it's more than a fair criticism, and I can understand why people check out on this team entirely because of it.
Can I ask a question? Forget for a second who the president is or how you feel what the president is or whatever. Would you want to go to the State of the Union? It's boring. Why would I want to go?
So boring. When I'm at home, I could turn it off.
Oh my God!
If you're there,
I have never said State of the Union's
So
on.
boring.
Let me lock in.
This one
Never.
promises to be memorable.
No, I'll give it a chance. I'll watch 10, 15 minutes when I'm at home. Have you grabbed my attention? All right, I'll keep watching. Otherwise, I'm changing the channel. If you're sitting there, oh my God, I'm falling asleep.
And you're in a suit. Imagine you're in the suit there. You're itchy. What if it's hot in there? You're sitting there sweating in the suit. And you're like, oh, I can't leave. I can't get up.
I sneeze a lot. Like I'm a loud sneezer. I'm a multiple sneezer. What if I sneeze in the middle?
What if I have to cough?
Say, what's that?
On the other hand, though, it is a hero's welcome. Yeah, I mean, you play your entire career to be honored as a national hero in front of, policymakers and really important people thanking you for the job that you did. I can understand the internal conflict that people might have.
If the entire argument is that these guys are too myopic, they're too insulated with all their money and fame and all that comes with that they don't really care, they're not deep diving on politics, then why would it matter to them to be cheered by the Congress?
I mean, I'm not looking at Brady Tkachuk looking for foreign policy
Well, that's what I'm
advice.
saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
I saw
they're
videos.
pawns, and there's no way to argue
They
around
are.
that. Matthew Tkachuk might think this is the moment of his life. I guarantee you, because they are human beings, they're not a monolith sitting there. This is the greatest. Some of them voted the other way, so they're getting jammed up there. And why it's bad is And for all the people that are straw man arguing this, like, oh, Kash Patel's a bad guy for wanting to celebrate that. Donald Trump's a bad guy for calling in. You're upset that the president of the United States called in and they laughed. No, these are straw man arguments. The problem is that they're getting jammed up in that spot. And now whether or not they want to be in there, Matthew Tkachuk clearly wants to put his gold medal on Kash Patel. Everybody standing around laughing uncomfortably at Trump's joke don't want to do that. What are you going to do in that moment? The idea that you would like end the call or something is not a plausible result there. You're wishing that somebody would do something you wouldn't do in that same spot, but they are ultimately being used for someone else. I'm sorry there. I mean,
No,
long-winded.
you got it. You got it. Juju, put it on the poll. If you had a choice for one hero's welcome, would you rather be at the State of the Union or 11? Because I feel like, there's
Or
no
both. Second night at 11.
I mean,
Third
there's
option, both.
no great. No, because here's the thing: State of the Union. Okay, these old white people are going to applaud me and say thank you for what you did for their country. They're boring, and I have to behave. I have to be well behaved. Man, them boys at 11 yesterday, they had the time of their life. And my favorite ones were the ones who aren't Panthers, because you could see like their eyes widen, like, whoa, what is
There's
all
only
this
one
about?
Panther.
Austin Matthews is like, I may never get this opportunity again.
Let's welcome Greg aboard the show today.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning.
How was breakfast? Breakfast was good out there?
Good morning,
We saw that you had
everyone.
yourself a little meal while you
I'll
were
tell
here
you what,
before coming in, huh?
The egg and ham sandwich was extraordinary.
Why'd you say it that way?
And the reason is the croissant instead of the tougher English
Most people say
muffin.
ham and egg, but he goes egg and ham, huh?
Yeah, you lead with the egg when that's the standard.
Yeah, the chicken wins.
Interesting.
The chicken wins.
Which
here.
came first?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's
I
interesting.
Thank you.
said the chicken and egg. What percentage of the old senators and Congress people cheering tonight even watched any minute of Olympic hockey?
Oh, I think a good portion of them
Yeah?
probably
Do
watched.
you?
Just mentioned the Senators, like Brady Tkachuk and Jake Sanderson will be there.
I do wonder though. So the team tonight, they'll be sitting like in the rafters,
Yep.
okay?
Willing Pawns.
But that place is always packed, of course. The team, it's 20 players. So are people having their seats revoked to make room for the players?
A lot of
Tonight-
Dems aren't even showing up. They can just fill those seats.
Plenty of seats available, Zaz.
Yeah?
Yeah, if you just scroll on the old socials.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, a lot of people are boycotting this. A lot of people plan. There's talk that people plan to get up and leave during it, and there's always extra room for assembled media and VIPs.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it's pretty bad being honored at the State of the Union, which is the dullest, most boring hour and a half
Thank you.
in political history. I can see the White House lawn, because that you expect. You expect the token White House attaboy here. But the State of the Union, when did that become a thing for teams? I mean, Trump, and this is not a criticism of Trump, because any president who's in office right now would do it. But Trump or any other president is going to wrap themselves in the flag, take credit for the Olympic performance. We did so great at the Olympics. He's gonna take advantage of that. And as long as the players realize, and sometimes I get the feeling Matthew Tkachuk is a little bit tone deaf on this. As long as the players realize that this is an immensely unpopular president with half of the nation, and so going to this to serve as a willing pawn is controversial. And as long as they realize that and accept it, then I'm all for it.
They don't realize it. Like, that's the part in all of this, is that they're constantly saying, this whole group is constantly saying, keep politics away from this. Keep politics away from this. We don't want this to be political. You welcomed it in. You welcomed politics literally into your celebration and bringing Kash Patel into your locker room, or not denying him access. Not that would have been a very popular opinion amongst those guys, and maybe they didn't want that getting out, but you're making sort of a show with him right at the front as the biggest celebration.
But isn't that
And
where
then-
someone part of the management team of Team USA needs to say something like, if you think one of the players for Team USA is going to stand up there and tell Kash Patel not to come in the dressing room and celebrate with them, you're nuts.
I'm
You're
sure-
nuts.
I'm-
No one's going to do that.
I'm sure they were all brought to it, and I'm not even saying that they needed to. I'm saying when politics enters the arena, you are now inherently political. And when you accept an invitation to a State of the Union that is going to be a State of the Union that rants and raves against immigrants, against members of the LGBTQ community, against all sorts of different people, it is going to be a disaster tonight. And you're going to have all of these hockey players sitting there, maybe for the first time, realizing, uh-oh, what did we get ourselves into? We talked yesterday about the concept of, like, how is this going to age? And I don't know that these guys are going to necessarily change their minds. There will be some who are supportive of the president. There are others who are not. But when you're sitting in that room and you're realizing what's going on and some of the things that are going to be said tonight about the American people
That
and
could
the
be
people who
interesting.
live in this country, that is going to be a giant stain on these guys and the way that they're perceived by the way, more than half the country. Trump is a very unpopular president at the moment.
Yeah.
The people who love him, but he's an incredibly unpopular president when you look at the polling around the country.
It's the most unpopular he's ever been during his career as a politician.
Which is why he's wrapping himself in the flag of something that's actually successful,
It's
which
useful.
is this team. I desperately wanted to enjoy. I did enjoy this. I was feeling so American and proud to be an American when USA won the gold. It was awesome. And within 30 minutes, politics got brought into it. I didn't ask for that. I didn't want politics to be brought in. I just like folks on the right. I'm saying, please keep politics away from my sports. It's my space to escape too. I know we delve into it, but our show is more than just a sports show.
How would the other side feel if they win and look who just walked into the locker room to congratulate the other guys? It's Colin Kaepernick. Mm-hmm. They would have lost their goddamn mind.
I feel like we're also walking into a trap right now because this is so historically unpopular for progressives, Democrats, anybody that is in opposition of MAGA to take out the U.S. men's hockey team. See, we can't even enjoy this when they were the ones that made this unavoidably political by having Kash Patel there, by having the president speak on the speakerphone, by getting invited to the State of the Union. And I feel like, and it's okay. Look, I like our hand this year better than I've liked it in years previous, but this is a losing position for progressives coming out and trying to take away people's feel-good and inject it with our opinions, even though they're the ones that made it political. It's why they do it so often. It's why they go to sports so often. It's why this administration in particular is so deft at handpicking who they go after, and we're walking right into the trap again.
That's exactly right, and it is not a great spot to be put in, and I don't give either side credit for seizing on this, but that's right. What it amounts to is Josh Pate or Jelly Roll or otherwise now react, and I'm sure at some point Matthew Tkachuk, like, oh, now it's a problem for me to do. Yeah, it was a problem always for you because for the last 10 years the message has been, I want to leave politics behind and just get lost in sports. Now all of a sudden it's okay for you to align yourself with this. Of course, it is. Tolerating intolerance is not a great spot to is not a great position to take, and that's ultimately what Tkachuk and otherwise are doing here.
You know what I'll be watching instead of the State of the Union? Heat Bucks, baby. I can't wait.